My name is Pete Mitchell. Everyone else is sleeping, but I can't. Yeah, where do I even start? Oh, I guess this is where I start. Where? I'm far away from home. I've just recently learned that I'm not actually from another time. It's just 1988 at home. Because home is a newer civilization, apparently. Newer than this one, where I'm at right now. Everything I'm about to say is something you're not going to be able to accept right away. You're gonna think I'm crazy no matter what kind of person you are. But the world is not what you think it is. It was never what we were taught it is. It's bigger, more vast. Sure, you've been taught about the universe, galaxies, and all that. That was a lie. Not only is this world infinite, it has way more life. The ocean and land, it doesn't end. When you travel past a certain point, you'll think you're just looping around. You would be wrong. You are traveling outside of what you know, or at least what you think you know.
Huh. Hey, Mav, who gave you that?
Alice, this tape... Well, I guess it isn't a tape recorder.
That device looks familiar.
Yeah, we've seen everyone with these. These are supposed to be phones, Hobbit. When did phones ever turn into glass little rectangles?
Oh yeah, Trigger wanted to buy me one so I could have my own. I know we got an MP on us all the time, making sure we don't get lost or whatever, but... God, that thing would make me paranoid.
Well, technically we are lost, but I know what you mean.
So, Alice likes you, huh?
Hobbit, no, I don't think it's like that.
Whoa, Mav, that is not like you to react like that. Usually you're cocky about that sort of thing, especially that sort of thing.
Hobbit, has she not told you the other day?
Mav, you're scaring me. What are you talking about?
Okay, let me just put it this way. I just don't think it would feel right between two people with a 1,000-year age gap.
What?
Yeah. So far, the only people that know are me, Blood Bolt, Trigger, and Pickme. Bez doesn't know about it yet, but he's about to. She's gonna give him the talk tomorrow morning when the old GOM member comes in. Cypher knows a little bit, but not enough to understand why Blood Bolt is losing her damn mind as much as I am right now.
Mav, is she even who she says she is?
Now, she told us about that too. It's a lot of information, Hobbit. This lady is thousands of years old. Alice is her birth name, but when she became something else entirely, her and her former associates, as she'd call them, know her as Amy.
Something else entirely? Like what? A vampire? Thousands of years old, Mav.
No. She's still human. Like, if you shoot her in the head or something, unless she's cared for by whatever advanced medical technology that people among her class operate with, she dies just like anyone else. So, that means if you do the same thing to Claude, that's how you end him.
Claude. There's that name again.
Yeah, I know. And Hobbit, you were right. It's him. That's our guy.
Wait, who implied that he was anything other than human?
Yeah, it's just the way Pickme used to explain it. She said Levine mentioned some sort of distortion in his voice made him sound like a demon. Turns out it's just some sort of medical technology. That's what Alice says anyway.
He's thousands of years old too?
Yes. Not as old as Alice, but he's ancient.
Mav, you gotta catch me up on all this. I can handle it. We're from another dimension anyway.
Well, that's the twist, Hobbit. We're actually not from another dimension.
they saw for themselves was when they allowed themselves to let go of every bit of programming on the shelves. Pages of indoctrination, the Western to uphold. Most of their world is still entranced by a lack of purpose that just through the air. Those who know reality messed up by those who were driven by sick despair. Unlike everyone, hypnotized by a crisis of climate that was fabricated. Two bright lines of a burn, live the truth through strife and arise from the shadows awakened. Unlike everyone, hypnotized by a crisis of climate that was fabricated. Two bright lines of a burn, live the truth through strife and arise from the shadows awakened. Once they bring this war to an end, the great awakening shall begin. Those who stand with them will be silent no more, with every step towards freedom they're taking.
Access to Gardo's granted, Gom 2. You're cleared to bring her in.
Appreciate the warm welcome, ma'am. How am I looking?
Nose is dead on. Speed is good. You're at a good angle.
Copy, I'm maintaining. Hold on a second. I thought I was gonna be Gom 3.
That's Bloodbolt. Guess you didn't communicate that with your old buddy yet, huh?
I was sure we communicated plenty.
Bloodbolt. Is it alright for me to ask about what Alice told you and Maverick?
Has she ever talked to you?
About whatever is causing you and Mav to have those weird looks on your faces lately? No. And all of a sudden I hear you and Voodoo 3 are gonna undergo a 2-week investigation.
Cypher, this is everything I've ever known or thought I knew about my world has been absolutely obliterated. I seriously don't know what is or isn't real anymore. I don't.
Okay, that's pretty familiar talk.
No, I mean sure. I'm a fellow conspiracy theorist just like you, and you know a lot more about things than I've known before I met you, but this concerns everything, Cypher. I'm talking everything we've ever learned in school.
Yeah, I still have questions about all that too. So whenever she does decide to let me in on that, I'll be open to it.
Okay. I know you don't want to hear it, but it's about my Noelle.
Hey, come on. Why do you have to accuse me of being that cold about something so serious? I know she's gone, but she was special to you, Pixie. Still is. And yes, you may very well be right.
I'm sorry. I was just worried about sounding like a broken record, but when you mentioned that Helios Hive organization to me a while back, I couldn't help but remember the lyrics she wrote for that song that got her in trouble. And it just leads me down a very solid train of thought. This is something we gotta address. I have so many questions, Cypher.
My God. The song she released a week before she disappeared? Why the fuck haven't I thought about that until now?
What song?
Wings of Reason. The record label had a field day with her about it after it was released. They were probably pissed when they found out about her message she was trying to convey with it.
That explains the title of your book you wrote long after. God, that hits different now just thinking back to everything I read from it. I'm so sorry, Pixie.
Thank you, Nadia. I should have wrote about her in there.
Hey, I have lost people very close to me too. I get it. And now, what you're saying makes sense. Now's your chance to really get to the bottom of this.
Cypher, I'm telling you, that organization, it has to be them. It has to be them that took her away from me. It has to be them that caused me to worry to death about her to the point where I developed fucking cancer.
Whoa. Whoa, buddy. Last thing you want to do is go down that path again at your age.
Wow, look who we have here. A traitor to a real cause.
College grad. You better fucking not.
We could have had world peace. But you want to come at me with the warning?
Yeah, real fucking original. You think I walked away from that dumb fuck worldview for no fucking reason?
Well, why then?
It's called pulling my head out of my ass after seeing fucking reality.
The reality is that a borderless...
A borderless world has never been tried. A borderless world is what got us here in the first fucking place. You fucking moron.
Okay, first of all...
Because we, as organisms, a product of nature, we're always at each other's throats since the dawn of fucking time. But hey, let's not even think about that. Let alone think for our fucking selves. Let's buy into an idea that'll give all this power to one entity so they can run the whole fucking human race their way with your precious borderless world. Let's just parrot some bullshit we learned in college because it feels good. Right, Mr. Higher Education?
Guess I hit a nerve.
I'm not the one whose left eye is twitching in a fit of internal rage. This isn't one of your cultist online forums full of self-righteous losers.
Journalist boy is projecting again. He does that.
They all do. That's all him and his tribe ever does.
I don't know why they never think shit like this through. And they call us the robots.
People like journalist boy over here call themselves the anarchists. What a fucking joke.
Yeah. We'll talk when you grow up out of all that conspiracy theorist garbage and realize Trigger is guilty.
See? He still believes all the grossly outdated info, even though his own favorite talking heads already sang a different tune than the narrative they tattooed into both his brain cells.
Probably pretends to be interested in science too.
Oh, he's everything any decent person can't stand. A few weeks ago, he unsurprisingly bragged about being feminist and went on to assume that I was on his side about all that bullshit. No one has ever insulted me worse than that.
You heard all that just now, right?
Why are we stopping this important conversation to listen to them?
Jeth Oaks. Sir, they don't realize. They may have some sort of idea how much worse things can get with a person like that, but it hasn't really hit them. The potential he has to decimate a whole society with his self-perceived good intentions. This is what Claude understands. People like this journalist are the kind of people I used to hang around when I was the exact age that I look right now. Jeth Oaks is the perfect kind of drone of a human being we use against humanity to serve us.
Captain Graves?
Please just call me Alice. I don't deserve that level of respect.
Why? Bloodbolt already forgives you.
Which is unearned. Besides, she only forgives me because despite everything I've explained to her already, she's never experienced that side of me, sir.
Now, because of her self-inflicted guilt, we got off on a rocky start with her. But we kept in mind that she's a wonderful human being. We trust her. I trust her. And if she trusts you, it's only natural that I do the same.
I have enslaved and murdered trillions, sir.
Even if that were true, you said yourself, that's not who you are. Not anymore. And what do you expect us to do about that? Just throw you in the brig? We don't have any evidence of that. How can we?
Which is an indicator of the horrible things I'm capable of getting away with. None of the people I've rolled ever knew that I rolled them. They never knew I existed. Just like most from this continental cluster don't know that Cloud Levitt exists. Helios Hive is a fairy tale to your higher-ups.
Well, you're a calculative person, so that means you know every action I'm going to take. Or at least you predicted what I'm going to do about you. Maybe you know that I'll try to be as unpredictable with you as I can so as to throw you off.
You don't completely trust me, but you still trust me more than you should. And yes, assigning me aboard with Longcaster for the upcoming sortie does seem smart considering what I know about Trigger and Pickme, aside from the ins and outs of this whole war. The real war behind the war everyone else is witnessing.
Well, there you go. I didn't even utter a word about that, and you already knew what I was going to do, down to the very last detail.
Sir, it's just...
For our sake, and you know as well as I do, this method of giving you a shot at redemption is essential to us. You're here because of Trigger and Pickme. Without them, your calculations of all these events unfolding wouldn't have led you here. It wouldn't have led you to work on their plane a while before the war even began. I may be old, but I still remember you from back then. You took good care of their bird. Even though your advanced technology is damn near impossible to tamper with, you did things in their best interest, it seems. It's why I find it difficult to see you as an enemy of theirs, let alone my own.
And naturally, I had to disappear after that final task, but I knew their unit would allow them to stick with how they operate their Tomcat. Funding was low as it often is for a special unit, and assigning them to another average Tomcat would have complicated things further with the other personnel at the time. Thankfully, as I've calculated, they're too willing to adapt. So, as you might be guessing now, I know human psychology like the back of my hand from having been to so many different worlds. There's a specific reason I fixed 3 strikes in Voodoo 3 with the same onboard setup. Not only so they can survive and be victorious in each sortie, but to elevate them to their full potential they've earned throughout this journey. And everything led them here to this point. Now they won't fall for any tricks. Every one of these people in this team you've put together has the wisdom they need. Especially with Pickme joining. He learned his lesson toward the end of the Balkan War. What he's learned, it hammers a very decisive nail in the coffin of the movement he walked away from on his own volition. I, myself, used to brainwash the masses with the dream of a borderless world so they'd drain their own lives, just to serve my selfish desires from back then. This family you've put together, they won't fall for it. The most important thing is that they all survive this so that they can then pass this wisdom on to others. That way, the rest of society knows not to fall into the miserable way of life that I used to impose on entire worlds.
Well, Voodoo 3 and Bloodbolt are about to be under investigation for the duration of the next sortie.
I take full responsibility for that. I knew the attention that my presence would draw. And I'm honored that Higgins will be assigned to monitor my actions aboard Lancaster. But even after mission success, I just want to reiterate that it still should not deem me as a trustworthy person. I understand why you'd test me this way. I don't deserve your kindness.
You may be infinitely smarter than me, but I still say that's your emotions talking.
It is. I admit that's a flaw of mine, a weakness that came with the decision I made to walk away from what I was for such a long time.
Miss Graves, at least you're still walking in the right direction.
This briefing is gonna frustrate me with the lack of Helios Hive info. Cypher is still doing some digging.
I'm just thankful that Ustian Special Forces came back with better intel than the rumors we got about refugees. Pretty crazy how you and Cypher predicted the last of them being gone from the AO. If you end up being right about Helios Hive planning to fabricate an opposing narrative, I'll flip.
Is this gonna be about how I'm a genius again?
Trig, I'm serious. You don't give yourself enough credit.
Neither of you do Pickme. Both of you are actually brilliant individuals. Remember that I said this. Do not ever doubt it. This war depends on the both of you knowing it and being at your full potential.
You managed to get any more intel out of Williams?
Other than the particular individuals assigned to investigate Maverick, Hobbit, and Bloodbolt today during our sortie, that bit of info is all he has left to offer. Even Cypher could tell that Williams outlived his usefulness.
So, he's been dealt with.
Both Cypher and Pixie know there was no other choice, and it had to be Cypher that did it. It'll keep everyone else's hands clean. Ustio is prepared to handle what may happen next. Whatever the next move might be from Helios Hive.
God. Ustio has already known about that organization being real, and aside from them, we're the only ones in this building that acknowledges their existence. Wish our own country was on the same page.
Technically, you are. You are its people. There's the Ocean people. Then there are the ones who infiltrated many countries, including Erusia's, to govern from the shadows in order to push a narrative for their agenda. One that I plan to help you dispel during today's sortie.
Yeah, I got word from Higgins that Lancaster is letting you on radio.
Major Bess is treating me with a level of kindness I don't deserve.
Alice, you did a lot of horrible things. Things I can't even begin to imagine. But I'll always remember you as that nice girl that worked on our plane. And I'll always remember that you believed in us. It isn't for me to determine what you deserve. I don't know the real you or the horrible things you might be capable of, but that always meant a lot to me. The way you believed in me and Trigger always meant so much to me.
I always wished that I could be as wonderful as the two of you. After everything I've done, This war can take my life in an instant. So, I don't know how much time I've left, but helping people like you is all I care about anymore. Just remember, I haven't earned your forgiveness, Pickme. It'll never happen in a million years.
I mean, my own capacity to forgive. That's for me to give out. The millions, or even trillions of lives you've taken will feel different than me. Would it make me a fool to just throw it at you? I don't know. You're just telling us about this horrible side of you we can't even accept being real because it just sounds so unreal, and you've always been so sweet to us. I don't know what you expect us to do about all this.
I expect you to win. I expect you to win against the kind of person I used to be. And after I confess and reveal it all, every horrible thing I've ever done, you keep that all in mind and remember what was done to people like you and Trigger. You take all that, and you win. You and the rest of Osea fight for what you stand for and win back what we always try to take from you. Freedom.
Forming up on your wings, Cypher.
Yeah. Now is the time I can give that proper welcome back.
Can't believe I'm here right now.
You know, it actually hasn't hit me until you just now said that, Pickme.
Oh, of course, the little joker will be the first one to point out the fact that the old doggy pair is back.
I still owe Mav an ass whipping for ratting me out.
I'll have you know, you are not the first one to come up with the list of Cypher facts.
Wait, really?
He's fucking with you.
Is it wrong that I feel more at ease with the fact that we have a psychic working with us?
Good. Now you can just consult her if you somehow wonder if I'm still alive by the end of this damn sortie.
No Osean forces are in the region ahead. No allies here. No need to ID your target.
Marked.
We've set a number of priority targets, focusing on their anti-aircraft weaponry. Okay, team, get to work.
The magic word. Work. That's what we do.
You know what to do, GOM team. Hit them hard. Draw all the false blame away from Osea. You already know about the fake refugee camps, but the media will twist it. Don't let them have the luxury of being able to fight dirty.
Roger that. And Trigger, Helios Hive will try to manipulate you on comms.
Are you serious?
How would they do that?
Claude knows about your onboard setup because of Alice.
I've got my own radio tech with me. I'll hear them too if they try something shady, but they could be listening in on me right now anyway.
Makes sense to try and pull at the heartstrings of someone like Trigger. If you can't beat him, make him feel wrong about destroying what they're hiding.
Unidentified aircraft. Identify at once. Open fire. What are you talking about? They already are firing on us.
Yeah, they do that. I would know. It's intentional.
Here they come. Keep your system Operation Reptile Eyes fucked. Stay off the damn comms and abort.
So is this faction split from the Erusian military?
Count? Are you sure you're ready for all that info? You already know about the conservatives, but Helios Hive is a whole brand spanking next level, kiddo.
Pretty sure he was talking about older Ruzi royalty. But that's just all basic shit he can ask someone else in Strider after all this. We've got bigger fish to fry.
They're our enemy's enemy, but not our friends.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know, Count. What Sandwich Junkie just said.
Here they come. Get the refugees into the bunker. Clinton, shut the fuck up and get your ass over to my sector. That shit won't work. Were you not listening earlier?
Wow, Cypher. You weren't kidding.
That's definitely a new guy. Claude will have him flayed alive.
Strider 1, target acquired.
He's climbing.
In gun range.
Keep tracking him, Pickme.
6 high with his nose away.
Roger 6.
7 o'clock low trig.
That a girl. Fox 2.
Splash.
Got you covered, Count.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
That's another kill.
You're welcome, by the way.
Why can't he be more like Hushin?
For real. She always throws a thank you to Trigger for that sort of thing.
Why aren't our planes up in the air?
Okay, those were actually Erusians, but definitely stay on your toes.
There's the castle. Doesn't look so defenseless to me.
I see you've still got an eye for deck dwellers that try to look innocent.
Remember when I used to actually think they were, but didn't care? Turns out, I had every right not to give a shit in the first place. Funny how that works.
Careful, Strider 1.
You just spearheaded the assault. You can keep hitting them because there isn't much choice but save some for GOM teams so they get some eyes on them.
You hear that, Cypher? We're actually required to have fun.
I did my own homework, and I know the refugees aren't actually here, contrary to the reports. But I wonder where they actually are.
Many are gathering to the lighthouse. Even royalty is confused about the reports. They don't know they've been infiltrated and by who.
Look at this fucking war zone. Place is littered with gung-ho Rusies armed to the teeth. They fire at us before even warning us, but we're automatically evil for firing right back.
I bet ENN will report about it super-duper accurately.
Target acquired.
The last of the refugees that already evacuated from here will know, but then, in their current mental state, think of what their country's propaganda can do to them.
Hey, Pickme. You know what? I'm actually feeling the chill.
I was actually gonna ask about that. You too, huh?
In that case, I'd listen in even closer to enemy comms than you already are right now. There's a reason I advised an air-to-air loadout to your crew.
What's the ETA?
They're not airborne yet. At least the majority of them anyway. But if I'm correct in my assumptions, they're already on location.
Pickme. Keep an eye out for any runways.
I know this doesn't make any fucking sense, but they've gotta be underground or some shit.
In a war like this, I was definitely thinking of that being a possibility too. I just wanted to eliminate the obvious one first.
I'm telling you right now, every war that ever involved at least one big feared and revered name, highly advanced technology and tactics always come out of the woodwork. Fox 2.
And what the fuck is UCO doing here?
Well, you saw the ridiculous thing I was flying back when you knocked some sense into me, old buddy.
Oh, I still remember that fancy schmancy laser beam all too well.
Even after all these years of spilling the beans to you, that's still the tip of the iceberg.
Which has all been wiped from history.
Target destroyed.
That's why we need you now. You're more important than you know.
She's right. I hate seeing you put yourself in harm's way again, but she's right.
Cancel takeoff. Soul Squadron, stand by.
Negative. This battle's over if we don't get up there. Along with hope of restoration.
Oh, great. It's Soy Squadron. I know you didn't want them to be here, but your calculations often end up being too accurate.
Hey, Longcaster. You got eyes on them?
Their interceptors are in the air.
Roger that.
Alright. Watch out, you guys. This is the part where they fly in some fancy airshow formation before they engage.
Soul Squadron, airborne.
I'll put them back underground where they fucking belong.
Good luck, Soul Squadron.
Yeah, good luck, Soiled Squadron.
Understood.
Let's get these out of the way then.
You are in violation of Shiraji airspace. Turn around and we'll be forced to shoot you down.
We're already in combat, you shithead.
This is the OC and Long Range Strategic Strike Group. Land immediately and hand over your planes and base to us.
All your base.
You must be the snowbirds. It's absurd for you to be talking so tough after losing one of your leaders at Barbanti.
Oh, sick burn from the badasses that keep running away.
You defile this country.
Yeah, I'm sure you're real proud of your shithole, Sir Bigelout.
As long as you're here, this country
will continue to be a shithole. Like it always was long before you dipshits picked a fight with Osea. You sanctimonious fuckface.
Oh, but that's not what was said from their most trusted news source ever. Everyone knows that their media tells the 100% truth all the time, without leaving out any important details and context.
Pixie, I don't know if these Rusies even speak a lick of sarcasm.
Here, translate this.
I'm out! Ejecting!
Wow, he's cursing up a storm in Rusi speak.
I hope he's okay.
Hey, severed limbs are nothing. He can totally walk that off.
I thought they weren't fluent in sarcasm, Cypher.
3 to go. Don't let them work together. Back up trigger. Wilco.
Righto.
Let's keep bringing the noise, old buddy.
Sounds good to me.
Strider 1, try to contain yourselves. Helios Hive are listening in for anything.
I know. I've got a mouth on me. I just can't stand these brainwashed pieces of shit.
Missile away.
That's a splash tray.
Bill's been hit. He's ejected. Damn. We can't even last long enough to buy ourselves some time.
So that's why Rusi women are easy. Guys like you leave him disappointed all the time.
Anyone else just developed tinnitus suddenly?
God, someone turn off their damn amplifier.
This, as expected, but a lucky shot would be boring.
I think someone just admitted that he sucks at shooting.
See him on picture Longcaster.
Strider 1, you have a bogey approaching at high speed. Bearing 090, straight from the east.
All right, Pickme. You got eyes on him?
Mr. X, Grimmett, we meet again.
His plane looks oddly happy to see us.
I feel like the frontal air intake might be worth looking at.
Yeah, thanks, Detective.
You know, just in case.
High-speed projectile launch from enemy aircraft.
So that's what that looks like.
I'm testing this aircraft. You must find your own sky.
We can still help you.
Not really.
Don't waste your life. Dedicated to reclaiming that which you call home.
Shithole.
Furthermore, you must find someone to guide you. I'm not that person.
Beta.
Really?
Do these guys really have to be on an open channel right now?
Yeah, this I don't understand.
Okay, I honestly think they just forgot to switch back. They're being super emotional right now. Erusians tend to be complete potatoes when they're emotional.
Interesting. Didn't know there were times when they're not.
Hey, look at the color of that plane. Damn, that's the flames of hell.
He once landed with no wings. I call bullshit.
That's just a random color scheme. He's just trying to look cool. Besides, they're dark orange, not bright red.
Helios Hive aren't the only ones watching. There are enemy troops witnessing. If 3 strikes shoots him down, that could turn the tides in Osia's favor.
All right, Pixie. We can't steal this kill from him.
80%.
I did read the file on Mr. X. I think they'll do just fine against someone twice as prehistoric as we are.
Just make it impossible for him to run away this time.
Yeah, I read about that too. It's pretty pathetic.
We've still got our own assigned priority tangos to keep us busy anyway. I'm seeing them all over picture.
Sounds good. Might be a while since he's flying a missile sponge, but he can't seem to land a hit on us.
I gotta tell you, buddy, you found yourself one hell of a reason to fight. A way more important reason than I could have imagined back in the day.
Purpose. This purpose makes me feel more alive than ever, Pixie.
Unidentified aircraft, land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
That's funny. It seems like one of the pilots is also fighting alone.
Read the room, dinosaur.
He's not alone. Look around you.
Yeah, you got one of those radars on board, Mr. Letter?
I see. Perhaps it would have been best to entrust the future to pilots like that.
Wait, what?
Let me test him then, to see if he's truly worthy.
Oh, come on. It's too early for a pop quiz. Can we just dogfight, please?
It's like the sky's been sliced wide open.
See? Sounds like a familiar description, doesn't it?
Leftover tech from a higher class.
Precisely. Same physics used in fast travel gateways.
Keep firing those missiles until you blow them to pieces.
Oops. I think I'm making Count panic.
Town, calm down, kid. Trigger's got this.
Yeah. Our job is to make sure Mr. X doesn't run away like he always does. Just maintain perimeter in case he bitches out of the fight against Trigger and Pickme.
And let us Gom boys do most of the roozy killing here. The media's gonna plaster anti-OC and propaganda everywhere, and our presence can minimize that as much as possible if you let it.
Claude despises Osea as much as he despises 3 strikes. He couldn't vilify them forever, so he's reverted back to his initial plan of vilifying the whole country.
Okay, I have to know. Why us?
Osea stands in his way of erasing every nation from our known lands.
And then after that, he's got centralized jurisdiction. He already owns everything. By then, he'll own your damn tongue.
Getting their trig.
Strider 1 scored another hit.
How many points?
He's still flying, but his plane's been damaged. Finish him off, Trigger.
He's got us in a 1 circle. I hate 1 circles. So damn repetitive.
Shit, he's jinking. Shifting to our 9er.
His movements. I knew it.
Well, I hope they were bowel movements.
That's basically what roozies are.
And that's a splash trig. Looks like he's able to punch out, though.
It's a hit. The unidentified aircraft is going down.
Yo, buddy.
Why, yes. As a matter of fact, I am.
Okay, just checking.
Mr. X hasn't punched out yet.
Oh, God. Is he gonna try and talk to it?
Can you hear me? Pilot with the 3 strikes.
Nah, you're cutting out or something.
This was all due to my ego.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
I unleashed pure chaos upon this world. Just so I could keep my wings.
What do you want?
Put a stop to the drone production.
Alright, listen close. Everyone. There are several ways people like Claude get nations to drop their borders, and they all involve uniting against some sort of crisis. He chose to create one with drones, which is obvious, but he took his time deciding that this was the route to go. It's just, this time, he made it more real than he usually does. Just keep in mind, they're not completely automated, just like Cypher already established.
We need to talk more about this after landing.
Absolutely. We'll go over as much information as we can.
There's a power they seek yet don't deserve. Preying on your sense of virtue to serve. A purpose that only twists all our hopes and dreams. Puppet strings made out of your fragile nerves. They would pull as you willingly twist and turn. Then see only the views of the world that they inspire your utopian dream? Have you confusing your rights as wrong? So they'll eat your freedom away for a false sense of unity. All the borders gone to disarray. Land's no longer for you and me. The hive can turn many against you and perpetuate lies they believe, then vilify those who would ever tame your own demons. The hive can turn many against you. Surface level thinking can't deceive. They can vilify those who ascend with their wings of reason. The hive can turn many against you and perpetuate lies they believe, then vilify those who would ever tame your own demons. The hive can turn many against you. Surface level thinking can't deceive. They can vilify those who ascend with their wings of
Hey, I heard about the sudden encounter. I missed my chance at watching it happen, huh?
Whoa there, buddy. Are those suits just done with you and Voodoo 3 for the day?
Actually, they're done for good.
Good. Now it's our turn to ask the questions.
This darkness and that little window are my entire world now. I'm actually rather fond of it.
Buddy, you are creeping me out.
The darkness envelops me in a borderless world.
But
A world with no boundaries.
that is definitely not what I had in mind.
It was not the reason we were unable to change the world. No matter what the desired outcome is, the world can still change, as long as people expand their knowledge and desire change.
But you're happy with this?
Today's world has already changed from what it was back then.
Why did I think watching this was gonna be a good idea? Guess I'll get back to doing my job. Jethro Oaks, 4:30 p.m., October 24, 2019. Being the open-minded individual I am, I decided to take a gander at a Balkan War documentary for inspiration. There were some irrefutable facts included here and there, sure, but then a lot of events were misinterpreted by this so-called journalist at the time who, by the way, can't possibly hold a candle to me and my integrity. Speaking of my integrity, I took on the responsibility of writing a letter to a reputable organization whose investigative agents specialize in military personnel with suspicious identity records and specific persons associated with them. An organization called Hyperion Intel. Mr. Levitt, the head of that organization, once contacted me several months ago offering help with my documentary if I inform him of the whereabouts of one of the triple holy hot woman.
And how much do you even know about Claude Levitt himself?
Wait, you know the guy?
Yes. Claude Levitt, the head of Hyperion Intel, an indirect subsector to a larger entity known as Helios Hive.
I'll have to look into that.
Yes, please do, when you're able.
So, did you need to talk to me about something?
We can start with the fact that you're not even going to ask how I knew that bit of info. Yes, because that's pretty important, and I know you're distracted by my mere presence. I'm not going to beat around the bush about that. We can start there. Otherwise, I'm going to need this room so I can talk with Pickme in private. You're not going to like what we discuss.
Wait, why?
Because you're going to have a bias against it.
Me? Biased?
Jeth, the last argument you had with Larry ended with you expressing your unwavering belief that Trigger is guilty of murdering a former president that you used to hate, but then somehow magically admire all of a sudden. You do realize Avril hates former President Harling,
But the
right?
context of that situation...
But the media suddenly started reporting about him indifferently during the last month of his life.
Let me just interject.
Just so his death could be weaponized against his supposed murderer.
Okay, you know what?
Now comes the part where you call me a conspiracy theorist. You'll tell me to cite sources for such a claim, as if all the sources that you blindly trust just somehow aren't part of the establishment, despite being plastered all over television. And the sources that get heavily discredited on television are definitely the bad guys that you think are bought and paid for, but the people on TV are the good guys, because that's where the perceived legitimacy is, right?
Alice, you're the only one that's ever been nice to me, up until now.
I haven't been nice or hostile towards you. I've been completely neutral. But your perception of my treatment of you is amplified in one direction because of your specific type of attraction to me.
Okay, so the guys that were investigating Maverick, Hobbit, and Bloodbolt are now being investigated themselves. What is even happening?
Through unconventional means, I ensured that all the systematic leverage they had went out the window. OC and defense officials were left with no other choice but to investigate Hyperion Intel's connections. Basically, we lured Claude's associates into a trap. Ustio is also involved considering what happened to Williams, so now those suits are in trouble with both countries. From this point forward, we wait to see Claude's next move.
I didn't even think they'd be connected to Helios Hive.
Understandable, because they're a subsector specifically to pose as an agency with no affiliation to them. But they're Double H lapdogs, nonetheless. Are you listening, Jeth?
I have to go.
Now, Jeth, even with your recently altered mental state at the moment, you're still likely to scoff at the discussion I'm about to have with Pickme. But you're welcome to eavesdrop from outside if that makes you more comfortable. You're at least curious enough to hate listen. I would just like this conversation not to be disrupted. Is that okay?
Okay. Jeth, you basically helped her. You just didn't know you did. Should you feel guilty about your intentions? Maybe a little. But sooner or later, reality is gonna come and get you. You can't avoid it, no matter how much you want to cling to what you think you know about the world. And if you keep clinging to something like that, you'll make even worse mistakes along the way.
I think I'm just gonna go get some fresh air or something.
He may just have realized what happened, but it'll be a while until he's able to let all of that go. Let's just get started.
So this crisis tactic, it's one of many? I can think of several that's already being pushed on us simultaneously.
You would be correct. And they all have one goal in common. It's all an effort to inspire worldwide enthusiasm for working together to prevent something catastrophic. That's the play. A lot of it is psychological. I think for now, the most thorough way I can represent how it's done is to kind of go over a lecture I used to drill into Claude.
My God. You taught him everything.
Everything that he knows, yes. Just not everything that I know.
Okay. I'm listening.
So, we're gonna start with thousands of years ago. It was millenniums before he even arrived to your world.